Hey everybody, welcome to
Hello.
Live at 5. I'm Jack.
I'm Jake.
This is, like I said, Live at 5, which means it's Thursday, 5 p.m. at the All Island Music Company here in La Plata, Maryland.
Yes, 5 p.m. on the dot.
On the dot, 5:01. So, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and right now it's 5 o'clock here. So, see what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Ah, cool. Let's see. Thank everybody that came out to our little recycle restring event on Saturday. We had quite a few guitars come through that got restrung and their strings recycled. So thank you to D'Addario for their efforts there for working on, reducing and reusing materials rather than just filling the landfills full of thousands and I think they said hundreds of thousands of pounds of guitar strings.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Which is a lot of guitar strings. It's a lot of guitar strings.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you bundle up six guitars worth of strings. And that's a good amount of strings right there. And, still weighs nothing. So imagine hundreds of thousands of pounds. That's a lot of guitar strings.
Typically people use 6 strings, but then you also have 12 and 8 and so on and so forth.
You start piling them up. It builds up. I know enough. If I changed all the strings in my house, that'd be a lot of guitar strings. That's probably one landfill's worth of guitar strings. So, depending on the size of the landfill. So, So, thank you for anyone that came out and partook in that. It was a good time. So, trying to think. Anything that's happened since Saturday. We've moved a lot of fun gear into people's homes. A lot of really cool guitar sales. People coming in, getting new keyboards, all that kind of stuff. So it's a good time here at Island Music. As you can tell, we always have a wall full of guitars behind me, and I'm excited to get into it because I don't have anything else to get into today. So it's just guitars. No nonsense, nothing to talk about that I don't want to talk about. Just kidding. I love talking about it all. That's why we've been here as long as we have.
Hey.
Speaking of...
Uh-huh.
Did your 10-year mark just slide past and we never said a word?
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
You started before me, so I don't know when you exactly started.
It was, I think, around April.
Oh. Well, I guess we have a celebratory Facebook post coming your way.
No, we don't.
Well, hey, if you're tuned into the show right now, in the comment section at least, if you think about it, if you hear about it. Sometimes I can't see the comments because something we got to figure out. We stream on multiple platforms. And sometimes the comments from one platform don't show up onto my main hub here in front of me. So I got to figure that out. I think if you're watching on Facebook, like the Island Music Facebook, your comments show up. But if you're on my Facebook or the YouTube pages, those don't show up for some reason.
Well, I know the Island Music Facebook and the Island Music YouTube, but it's the other two that aren't.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if you're tuning in just now and hanging out, congratulate Jake on his 10-year mark here at Island Music Company. Thanks. All right, cool. Moving on. So, you might be thinking, Jack, that's nothing fancy, that's nothing special. They have new versions of that, which is true. But anytime there's a new version of a guitar, someone out there is looking for the old version of the guitar. So, this is the PRS SE Hollow Body 2. This is it's the 2, not the standard, which means it's a maple back and top. This uses the 5815S pickups. It is a pattern. What's the word I'm looking for?
Pattern thin?
Not pattern thin, just pattern neck shape. They just call it pattern.
Oh, yeah,
Pattern thin, vintage, all that, So it's the neck shape there is the pattern neck shape. These come with the hard case, very nice guitars. I was just fumbling through all of our semi-hollows around the shop the other day, and I found this. We have this in the black gold and the tricolor sunburst. So come on in and check these out if you're looking for some of the earlier versions of the PRS SE hollow bodies. They're fantastic guitars for the price point. I believe we have some of the SE hollow body 2 piezos coming in here fairly soon, and those are really nice guitars as well. Let's see here. Moving on. This is the Gibson Modern Light. And I like the Modern Light series because, one, super thin body compared to the other Gibsons, so it's lightweight. Sometimes you pick up a Les Paul and you can't help but realize how heavy they are. He interviewed on April 8th, 2015, started working April 14th.
Sounds about right.
This is why it's important to have mothers that pay attention.
I knew it was April, somewhere in April.
Awesome. Well, Jake, glad you're here. I'll get you a snickerdoodle
Okay.
and a royal milk tea. So the Gibson, the Gibson Modern Light is a cool guitar because what it does is it takes all the features, not all the features, it takes a handful of the features from the modern series of Les Pauls and puts it into a more accessible, more affordable style package. So where you're going to have the slim taper neck, you're having the contour in the back of the body, you have the 490 and the 498 pickups, where you have these awesome features from the modern series guitars, you're giving out a little bit on the aesthetics and the appearance of the guitar, if we're being totally honest. They call this finish TV wheat, but it's a very like transparent, almost it's like a poly satin kind of finish. So you're giving up some of the amenities and some of the appointments of a nicer, flashier looking guitar, but you get some great sounding pickups. You have an amazing feel on the neck, and part of what keeps the cost down is the thinner body because they're not chambering a solid mahogany body. They're just making a thinner body. So it helps reduce the cost, but gives you some really cool features.
I would love to weigh that and see how much that weighs.
There's a scale.
There's.
We'll get to the scale in a second because I don't want to just walk off. This was just traded in yesterday, so I wanted to highlight it. It's not up online. I don't think so. It's got an orange
it's just
sticker, which
photographed
means
today.
pictures have been taken. It's the Charvel. What's really cool about this guitar is this. What were the pickups that were put in? This is the full shred and the Alnico 2 in the neck. So this guitar is ready to rip, right? The Alnico 2 is going to give you the very full, very not bass heavy, but it's going to give you that very nice, warm, saturated kind of tone out of the neck. And then when you go to the full shred in the bridge, you're ready to rip and roll. So that's an amazing feature there. You have the nice like satin gold Charvel tuners that matches the gold hardware that you get in place from the Floyd Rose. It's all satin gold hardware, which is a nice fit, and it's a nice little touch because it doesn't take away from the quilt maple top. The white bobbins on the pickups really help bring the whole aesthetic of the guitar together. What I do like about this guitar is you have the nice belly curve on the back, but you also have this really sleek, deep bevel cut into the back here, which gives you immediate access to the higher frets right all over there. But a really cool feature on this guitar, which I think is kind of overlooked, is one of the favorite things to do with a guitar, especially if you're playing, especially playing live, not so much at home, but you're moving around live. You put your strap on the guitar, and then you run your cable around the strap and tuck it into the guitar. What's really cool about this is there's this nice little like bevel, I guess you call it a bevel, on the back of the guitar where the input jack is just flush with the cut of the guitar. And it's really nice because if you do have your guitar strap hooked on, it's just a really smooth transition. It doesn't take up anything on the top of the guitar, so there's no extra like real estate space lost there. And it's just a nice, it fits into the contour. Boom. It fits into the contour on the back of the guitar very well. That's the word I was looking for, contour. See? We got there. So, this was traded in yesterday. So it's brand new to us. Very sleek looking guitar. I think it's going to go pretty quick once we get it listed up online. So for those of you watching right now or you're tuning in later, come on in and check this out. You got all weekend to do so. Oh, this was really cool. Jake,
Yes.
if you had to guess, pretend you knew nothing about this ESP right here, this ESP LTD.
Okay, because I certainly didn't do that today.
Oh, you listed online today?
Yes, I did.
Oh, never mind. You know how much it costs.
I do.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
Are you shocked by how much it costs?
No. I am really shocked.
Nice.
to be honest.
This guitar is $399,
Yeah,
which is insane, right?
I had to double check.
It's got this incredible black burst around the edge, this blue burst finish in the middle, with the gorgeous flame veneer top on there. These ESP designed LH pickups, the LH150s, are insane pickups for what they are. You can easily swap these out for something else, but let's be honest, you probably don't even need to. The hardest part about swapping those pickups out for anything else is finding black chrome covers to go to your pickups, because it's not something stock that a lot of companies have. But it's a killer guitar. Roasted maple neck. It's just a sleek looking guitar. You got your coil tap option. It doesn't weigh a ton. It's got a really nice belly bevel on the back there. The contours. I keep saying bevel. Contours. Forearm contour on the top. This guitar is awesome. It is the EC200DX.
Yeah.
We also have a TE200DX. Very similar finish here, except it has more of a burled kind of top. We have this guitar in blue burst and charcoal burst.
yeah,
Fantastic guitars. I was blown away when I saw that they're only $400.
yeah. I went and double checked. I'm like, wait, is it that much? And
Yeah.
I looked and I was like, okay.
I made the sign for it today, and I had to go back and look. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble for this price. Hold on, this should
Yeah.
be like $7.99, $6.99. No, it was, sure enough, $3.99.
Yeah.
I kind of want one, just cause. Like it's
Well, yeah.
a good deal.
You have a choice of colors.
I like this blue burst. What's really nice is it's a really good base for a guitar to upgrade on, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go out and buy nicer quality hardware than what's on here, still in the nice black finish. You can find pickups and just get the covers for them. Like, there's a huge platform to really upgrade this guitar.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, you really don't need to. So come on in and check out these new LTDs. The 200 series has been revamped, and they're phenomenal. Speaking of cool guitars that are different but also the same, this is the Gibson J45. Mm-hmm. You might be thinking, Jack, that is not a J45. But it is. The ones we've shown before are high gloss, burst finishes, a little higher in price. This one here, I believe, is the Studio. Yeah, it's the Studio Walnut. And where some of the other ones cost a little bit more, closer to your $336. This one is going to come in at under $25. Still made in the USA. It's just satin finish. So you're getting into a little easier to build, easier to construct, easier to design, craft, and maintain. And it's a walnut body instead of mahogany or rosewood. So it's still a J45. It's just the studio version. So I always, in my mind, when I hear a guitar called Studio, I just think it's crafted because it doesn't have to look showy and flashy to take out anywhere. It's meant to just hang in the studio and be your studio. That's the way my brain acknowledges that. So
Yeah, I always think studio quality.
yeah. And of course, there's a J45, which, in my opinion, is the nicest acoustic guitar out there. Yeah, that's just my opinion. There's versions of the J45 that are great. I don't know why I'm defending myself, but hey. Speaking of really cool acoustic guitars, I don't remember if we've talked about this one yet. I know I've done a reel and a short about it. We did a video of you playing it, but I don't think I've brought it onto the Live at 5 yet.
I know we've done them, but I don't think in that.
This is the new standard version.
Yeah, I don't think we did standard.
So Fender kind of rocked the world back in January, February, and launched the standard series of guitars. It shook some Fender faithful to their core because they wanted the standard series to be made in Mexico again. Rather than that, Fender said, hey, let's put out a more affordable Fender-named product and get it into the hands of the masses. And by doing so, they released a bunch of guitars out of Indonesia called the Standard Series. The Standard Series, if most of y'all might remember, was often affectionately referred to as the Mexican Standard.
Yeah.
That's just where they came from for the longest time. You had classic colors. You had like the Torino red, you had Lake Placid blue, Olympic white, and the maroon type color. I forget the name of that one. Burgundy something. But most of those colors are back in the standard series. But the biggest difference is those guitars are now made in Indonesia rather than Mexico. Because in Mexico, we have the player series. The Acoustasonics, in the very similar fashion, have a player Acoustasonic. There's a USA Acoustasonic. So there's different iterations and versions of that. And now they've also followed suit. And now we have the standard series Acoustasonic. I think this is the not most versatile when it comes to the Acoustasonics, but I think it is the... I'm drawing a blank on the word I really want to use, but this I feel like would be... I was nailing it too. I was like, man, this is some journalism. This is some high quality journalism. That I get here is like, ugh. But this guitar, what's great about it is it gives you the features you really need in a gigging situation. Because I'll break it down. I'm in a situation right now where in the band I'm in, I'm constantly swapping between 2 different electrics and an acoustic guitar. Humbucker, single coil, acoustic. Swapping back and forth. This solves a lot of that problem. And the biggest reason it solves that problem is there's not a selector that goes through 5 pickups positions, right? So on the other models, on the USA version, there's a 5-blade selector. So each position of the selector is 2 different guitar sounds, and that blend knob goes back and forth between the 2. On the player series, it's a 3-position switch, so it gives you 6 guitar sounds. Same concept. Each position, each spot of the blend knob, different guitar sound. The standard series takes your guitar and says, hey, let's make this as simple as possible, but also really good and cool, and just gives you 1 blend knob. You're either all acoustic or all electric. And it has become, I think, a great utility for a lot of gigging musicians who find themselves swapping back and forth because it plays really well. It sounds really good. The Shawbucker pickup is fantastic. The undersaddle acoustic pickup is amazing. The roasted maple neck is a really nice touch, especially when you start getting into these black finishes. Like, that's a killer looking guitar. So if you find yourself in a position where you're constantly going back and forth between acoustic and electric, or maybe there's the odd song where you just need to switch in the middle of a song, check out these standard Acoustasonics from Fender. I think they're fantastic. I'm waiting for the Tele version to come in, and that's probably be the one I'm going to heavily consider grabbing for my band. The Jazzmaster's great. I've just never been a huge Jazzmaster guy. But the Tele is going to come in, and it's going to look really good, and I'm probably just going to take it on home.
Yeah, one song that comes across my mind is Green Day, 21 Guns. When
the whole first half of that song's acoustic, and then and then we got to stop there before we get monetized. But they'll come after us if we keep playing their songs. Green Day's real big on trying to stay relevant right now, so that's I don't know if you've seen any of their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to remind people who they are.
There was Papa Roach as well that went, yeah.
Yeah. Can't stay on top of the mountain forever. Last guitar.
Anywho.
This is a limited edition run from towards the end of last year. From PRS. There was one more floating around. There's a couple of them floating around, but these have a little slightly different finish to them than the others. And I think it's just potentially their way of revitalizing the limited edition run and getting them out there. This is the CE24 Black Limbo, but you can see it's got this dark ring around the edges. That's the smoke burst finish. What's really nice about these, I believe, we're looking at the old school Birds, the US 8515 pickups, not the 8515S's. These are the US Maryland-made 8515 pickups. It's the CE neck profile, so it's also a bolt-on. Pattern thin neck shape, violin carve, black limbo body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard, and it's the satin nitro finish. They were a limited edition run, and they did really well. Of course, you have your 08 style switches here. So really, I guess it would be a CE2408 would be the exact model number for it, because you have your phase and coil switching there. Fantastic guitar. Comes with the Phase 3 locking tuners. Even though it is a USA guitar, does not come with the wing button tuners. Inside joke with me and Jake because I got it wrong for the first 3 months they had these things out.
Yeah,
but
I finally got rid of that tab.
But it's a gorgeous looking guitar. The weight's not bad considering it's a solid wood guitar there. Fantastic guitar. CE2408. Black Limbo with the smoke burst finish. I think this is our last one. So I wanted to pull that out and highlight it and show it off to y'all. And that's it. That's everything we got. Let me double check my calendar here because I do not want to get the date wrong. If I can open the app. Friday, May 23rd, George Lynch will be here at Island Music Company. He's doing a little clinic, workshop style kind of thing, a meet and greet afterwards. There's going to be a handful of never before seen ESP guitars, made in Japan guitars that no one's seen them. They're not available on the website, on ESP's website. No YouTuber or TikToker or Instagram musician has ever done a demo video of them or posted them anywhere. This will be the first time. This little tour that they're going on will be the first time they'll be unveiled to the public, and we'll have them here at Island Music Company. So very excited for that. George Lynch has done a handful of clinics here over the years. It's been a while since he's been here. But every time he's here, it's a packed house. Like we're gonna be busy. So make sure you can swing in that day because it's gonna be a fantastic time. We've stocked up on some of our George Lynch models of guitars, so be sure to grab yours. We'll have our biggest ESP sale going on that day. I'm excited for that because we also just recently got in a Stephen Carpenter 8-string baritone. I have no purpose owning that guitar or thinking I should own that guitar, but that thing is sweet. I'm sure I can find a way to use it in my country band. So with its high gain Fishman Fluence pickups, yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Make it work. Church, maybe, you know. But yeah, so
just to take the volume, turn it down 1.
Nah, goes to 11. So May 23rd, it's a Friday. I think it's gonna start. Actually, I don't even know if I have a time for that. I don't have a time for that, but it's usually in the afternoon. So afternoon/evening. So I think we usually start our events around 4 or 5. So it'll probably be a 5 o'clocker.
5, yeah.
So May 23rd, George Lynch in person here at Island Music Company. We'll go down the line of the guitars we talked about today, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. This is the PRS SE Hollow Body 2 with the flame maple veneer top and back. Comes with a hard shell case. And remember, that's the 5815S pickups. We have the Gibson Modern Light Les Paul. This had the 490 and 498 pickups. The slim taper neck, and it gives you the belly contour in the back there. The CE2408 Black Limba. I just called the, what do they call it? Smoke burst. Yeah, there you go, Jake. With the USA 8515 pickups. This was our Charvel DK24 with the, oh my goodness. It's an Alnico 2 pickup in the neck. It was the, what was the bridge pickup? Shred something. Full shred. Bridge pickup with all the satin gold hardware. It's a fantastic guitar. Remember, it has that really cool output jack placement on the contour there on the back. The LTD EC200DX in the blue burst finish with the LH150 pickups. Fantastic guitar at its price point. Right next to it here we have the J45 Studio Walnut. All satin finish, walnut body. Fantastic guitar. Perfect for anyone who's looking for a budget-friendly J45 to just have at home for recording purposes. Comes with the LR Bags pickup system, just as the other J45s. And my personal favorite out of the bunch today, the Fender Acoustasonic Standard. Remember, all you need to make this efficient and full-fledged, what you want to do is the one blend knob. Perfect for anything if you're just swapping back and forth real quick. So come on in, check out all these guitars. We are Island Music Company. We're open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6 here in La Plata, Maryland. My name's Jack.
I'm Jake.
This was Live at 5. See you next week.